Blah, blah, blah. I don't own the rights to this, but yo, this is it. The Kwanzaa celebration continued. Video Deuce and Billy. With that said, the following is an outline of Kwanzaa, the 7 principles, Nguzo Saba, the governance, and the informative points are historical references, statements, etc., all of which come from either authoritative sources, warrior scholars, and or from the rider royalty that have freely shared their supportive energy with us. Pardon self. In 1976, a young visionary living on the West Coast who was also a founder and chairman of a black nationalist organization called US, conceived and created the only indigenous, non-heroic black holiday in the United States, Kwanzaa. Dr. Karenga, a trained political and cultural scientist and participant and theoretician of the Black Liberation Movement, postulated that the significant and meaningful black movement in the U.S. was improbable, if not impossible, without a cultural component, a base. He felt that at that base of any movement must be the cultural imperatives that give the people a clear and precise sense of identity, purpose, and direction. Kwanzaa, roots and branches. The continental African roots. Kwanzaa is an African and Pan-African holiday that celebrates family, community, and culture. Celebrated from December 26th through January 1st. Its origins are in the first harvest celebrations of Africa, from which it takes its name. The name Kwanzaa is derived from the phrase Matunda ya Kwanzaa, which means first fruits. In Swahili, a Pan-African language, which is the most widely spoken language in the motherland. The first fruit celebrations are recorded in African history as far back as ancient Egypt and Nubia, and appear in ancient and modern times in other classical African civilizations such as Ashanti-land and Yoruba-land. Kwanzaa celebrations, ingathering, reverence, commemoration, recommitment, and celebration. Kwanzaa is this: an ingathering of the people to reaffirm bonds between them. A time, a special reference for the Creator and creation, and thanks and respect for blessings, bountifulness, and beauty of creation. A time for commemoration of the past and pursuit of its lessons and honor of its models of human excellence, our ancestors. A time of recommitment to our highest cultural ideals in our ongoing effort to always bring forth the best African cultural thought, practices, and a time of celebration of the good of life, the good of existence itself, the good of family, community, and culture, the good of the awesomeness and the unordinary and the ordinary, in the word of good, the divine, because God is good, natural, and social. Although being inmates of these modern day slave ships can complicate some of our constant intentions and endeavors, struggle is the food of black people determined to be themselves. When we grab hold of our ancestors and use our talent in Kumba, creativity, we will break through obstacles. For now, let's work with what we got. That what is grassroots, grinding, that which is struggling, reminding. The speaking of various thrusts of the black movement in the 1960s and the 70s, Karenga spoke the cultural thrust and states. This is Karenga, by the way. The ideology of Kawaida, which is essentially a theory of cultural and social change, and seeks to draw from and synthesize the best in nationalist, pan-Africanist, and social thought, became the most structured and widespread body of black nationalist thought in this country. It is out of the Saba 7 principles. It is out of Kawaida which this author developed Kwanzaa in the Nguzo Saba. The Nguzo Saba 7 principles were advocated as the communitarian African value system necessary to build community and serve as social guide and glue and moral orientation for cultural practice. Since this introduction in 1965, the Nguzo Saba has become the basis for the philosophical orientation of many independent schools, rites of passages, community and professional organization programs, and is best known as the value system of Kwanzaa, an African American holiday celebrated throughout the world African community. Blah, 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 blah. To be continued. Bong bong.